Was that was that the one where he's teaching Squidward how to draw a circle?
Yeah, and it's like the head or whatever, and yeah.
My name is Hayden Paulhamus, and I'm a double major in business administration and genetics and plant biology. I really enjoy reading and learning as much as I can about different subjects beyond just my majors. Recently, I finished a book on the American Revolution, and with one of my roommates, me and another friend of mine from my fraternity are reading Don Quixote to see if that has any relevance to anything we're reading and studying in the classes. At the moment, I'd like to go directly into consulting, either economic or litigation consulting, because I feel that that is varied enough that I could use some of the skills I've learned in school, specifically in the business major, while also moving towards a career in law, which I'm considering down the road 3 to 5 years from now. If I had to describe post-grad life in one word, the word would be freedom. When you've graduated, you are completely free from what you were before. But ultimately, you have the freedom to decide who you want to be, what you want to do with your time, and that thought can be empowering, but also a little bit scary. You can definitely tell I didn't plan this stuff, huh?
It's okay.
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 First and foremost, I want to continue learning no matter what I do. So I want to find a career where I can continue to expand my knowledge and pursuing interests, whatever they end up being. In the end, I want it to redound to having an effect on whatever community I end up living in. Did I answer the question? I don't know. It's my vague. I really don't know.
No, it's okay.
It's all just so vague. I don't have a clear goal for what I want to do after I graduate. I just know that I want it to be something that I can always parlay into the next thing. I'm very afraid of dead ends, and so when I graduate, I want to start doing something that I can at least gain skill sets that I can transfer into the next thing that I do, and hopefully work my way up to the level where I can influence a lot of things positively. Well, when I was younger, probably the first most definite thing I wanted to do was be a baseball player, and that was for quite a few years. I think if I had to describe all the different things that I've wanted to be, it's always been looking up to role models that I had at that specific time. Later on, when I was interested in dinosaurs, it was to be a paleontologist. Throughout college, in fact, I've learned so much so quickly while studying here that my role models have been very fluid, and I find myself at one point wanting to go into politics because I'm so inspired by some of the politicians that I've read about or heard of, either now or in history. And other times I want to go into business because certain CEOs seem like they have everything put together and they can solve all the world's problems. They're just given the time and the resources to do it. Most recently, actually, I've been studying legal scholars and lawyers from the past and the present, and all of a sudden I find myself interested in law, something I didn't anticipate at all. I'm just constantly the slave of whoever my role models are, and I want to live up to what they did with their lives. I would say the most affirming thing throughout my college experience has been getting into Haas, the business school. Coming here from high school, where there was a much smaller pool of peers, it seemed as if all of a sudden I had to try a lot harder if I wanted to be able to distinguish myself or at least feel good about my academic accomplishments the way that I did in high school. And so for the first year and a half, it was incredibly overwhelming. Getting into Haas was a very affirming moment for me, that if I really tried hard enough and became more disciplined, which is something that I definitely lacked when I got here, I could continue to compete at this now much higher level than high school had been. I've still got it, and I'm still capable of achieving my goals. And the second one, though less important to me than Haas, was getting an internship this summer. This summer I interned at Triage Consulting Group, which is a healthcare consulting firm, and I worked on a team which audited a specific hospital in Beverly Hills. A whole organization with adults far older than me making the decisions decided that I was worth their time and money for the summer, that somehow I could help them out with their goal. And I'm still sort of processing and hoping that I actually did pay off for them. I hate to think that I was useless or didn't amount to the potential that they expected from me, but that was incredibly affirming too. I would say one of my biggest regrets is having so quickly joined a fraternity. I think that if I had taken a semester to try and meet a more diverse group of people through classes and clubs on campus. I'd have a better network now because I find that a lot of my friends are in the fraternity that I joined, and now that I'm a senior, those very people that I joined the fraternity for, the sophomores through seniors when I was a freshman, they've now all left and graduated. So all of a sudden, the group of people that I can hang out with has shrunk quite a bit because of that. So I only regret that, but it's tough to regret that because I still enjoy a lot of my experiences here, which came through my fraternity and the decisions I've made regarding my social life. That's why this year has been so different. The people that I used to text to hang out aren't really here. My upbringing was, I think, very different than a lot of the students who go here. Coming from a suburban community in Orange County, probably upper middle class, and sheltered. When you had no idea of this in high school or the entire time you're living there, just going up north 400 miles to UC Berkeley, it's changed my perspective on so many things because the people I've met here aren't necessarily from the same suburban upbringing as myself. There's so many students here who have different backgrounds, some less privileged, some more privileged, some international students who come from completely different continents and countries that we only relate on a few levels because we just have so little in common in terms of our past. My upbringing has influenced my experience at Cal by just not preparing me, I guess, for the diversity of the world, which Cal has exposed me a lot more to than 18 years in Huntington Beach did. I think my experience at Cal in the last 3 years has greatly prepared me for my life beyond undergraduate. I've learned a lot, both through my classes, but more importantly, I think from the people that I've encountered here. I think Cal is exceptional in that it really draws such a large applicant crowd and is able to craft such a diverse student body. Even my friends went to other very large universities I don't think are as prepared as I am to deal with the real world. I feel I can talk to so many more people and understand so many more people's perspectives. Cal is definitely exceptional in that on-campus housing is actually 2 blocks off campus at the closest. You're living within the city of Berkeley, among other Berkeley residents who would not associate themselves with the university by necessity. I spent more time walking the streets of a city than I think many other students who go to 4-year universities. And that just alone, I think, is very preparing for the future and moving out of the college dorm and moving into an apartment. I've been exposed to cooking for myself and cleaning up after myself and a lot of things that I'm not sure everybody else from my hometown has been exposed to yet. Almost more than anything else, I think Cal has prepared me for the future. I'm most appreciative of that because I have a lot of future ahead of me.
Do you remember, okay, I remember you gave me advice on like cooking once in high school, and you said that it was tasty to have like a chicken cup of noodles, put the Trader Joe's like frozen orange chicken on it, and then slather it in sriracha. And I thought that was like the grossest thing.
I made that so many times in high school.
Did you really? So
oh
that
yes.
wasn't like a hallucination that I
No, that was you
like,
get the frozen. I didn't use sriracha. I didn't know what sriracha was till college. But the orange, because you buy like the frozen orange chicken from Trader Joe's, it has 2 sauce packets in it. So you cook like half the thing, and then rather than just eating orange chicken, like I really liked getting a cup of noodle, making that. You know, it's just like a minute and a half in the microwave, and then pouring the chicken over that, mixing all the orange sauce together. Delicious! What are you scoffing at me still?
It sounds gross. It
It's
sounds
so
crazy.
good.
It sounds like, okay, if there was a food that embodied college life, that's what it would be.
Some of the most defining and memorable times here at Cal are when my parents and my sister came to visit me for typically football game days. It's been weird because, you know, I came from home, I came here, and I thought life would continue, but really it just starts over. I mean, you start making completely new friends, you start learning a whole new set of truths that your teachers are teaching you, the people here teach you, which are, you know, based from where they're from, and so you become such a different person. When my parents came up here for the first time, and I got to introduce them to all my friends, show them all the sites and the buildings that I normally go to either for classes or for studying, the restaurants that I like to go to eat at. It was so cool because these people who have been fixtures in the first 18 years of my life were now not really a part of this other life of mine, and I got to show them all of that. I don't know, it's just some emotional feeling of having the second side of you that you get to show the people that you care about who haven't seen it. And so, yeah, I'd say the most defining or memorable moments in my time here have been the times that my parents or my friends from home as well have come to visit me and seen this second life of mine.